So, it was announced just now that Fire Red and Leaf Green are going to be re-released on Nintendo Switch, and they're going to be sold separately on the eShop for $20 each. So the obvious question is, A, why did they not wait for this for the Pokemon Presents on the 27th, which was also just announced, but whatever. And also the other obvious question is, why did they not put this on the Nintendo Switch Online Game Boy Advance thing? Well, the obvious answer is money, but there are some good things about this. Like, this does look really bad on paper, because Nintendo now has both a subscription service and games being sold separately on their shop, which basically means they get their cake and eat it too. But there are some good things to come out of this. Number one, we've been asking them to put old games on their shop forever, like ever since it became a thing. Better late than never, I guess. And of course it would be Pokemon that does this first. But yeah, so we've been asking for this, you know. Like I said, it's weird that, you know, they now get to have both subscription and individual game sales, but whatever. And also, when you buy the game, you get to actually keep it. Because remember, if you cancel your subscription for whatever reason, you lose access to all those old games, which is why a lot of people hated the subscription service thing and wanted them to be purchasable separately. And at least Fire Red and Leaf Green are, you know, baby steps, I guess. And also, the price tag for $20, it's not that bad. Like, when I heard that they were going to be re-releasing these games, that, you know, the rumor was that was going to happen, I was like, oh god, they're going to charge full price, aren't they? I was honestly expecting them to be sold for $40 or $60 each, but they didn't do that. It's $20, you know? So, really, buying one of them would be only $20, and that's, I think, less than 1 year of Nintendo Switch Online, so, yeah, actually, not a bad deal, when you really think about it, technically. So, yeah, like I said, it looks really bad at first, but I don't think this is really that bad of a thing. I mean, I'm not going to buy it anyway. I already have my copy of Fire Red and my DS still, so I can still play it whenever I want. But for people who don't have that, you know, they now have the option to, you know, play it legally. You know, because I know a lot of people saying, well, just emulate it. And it's like, well, some people either, A, don't want to do that, don't know how to do that, or, you know, whatever. But, you know, it's their own prerogative. But, yeah, like I said, obviously I don't need it because I still have my physical copy, which, yeah, you want a physical copy, it's going to cost you way more than $20, but, oh, another weird thing is that there's apparently no online play for these games, because the original didn't have that. Remember, they had that thing you put on top of your Game Boy Advanced, so they can do local, like, multiplayer, but it can't do online. Maybe that's the reason it's not on Nintendo Switch Online, I don't know. But yeah, so it's kind of weird that there's no online play. I guess they couldn't overcome that technical hurdle, which might explain why they haven't put all the other old Pokemon games on there. I don't know. But yeah, we have a Pokemon Presents coming up. A lot of people are saying Gen 10 is going to be announced then. That should be interesting, if the leaks are to be believed. And we'll see what else they have in store for us. You know that Pokemon Animal Crossing game's coming out pretty soon. And we got Pokemon Champions and all this other stuff. I'm hoping for some new announcements. We'll see. So yeah, we'll see what the future holds for these kind of releases on the eShop, because here's the thing now anytime they release like something on the Nintendo subscription service, it's like, well, why don't you just make it available on your shop? You know, this, like, Nintendo really put themselves in an awkward situation, because now it's like, now you have no excuse to put old games onto your eShop now, because you proved that you can do it. Yeah, so it's weird. But I hope we get more Pokemon games released like this, because obviously they've not been re-released, and a lot of them have not been re-released, and they're extremely expensive, and, you know, some people may have missed out on the original games, you know, and stuff like that. So I think it'd be good. It'd be nice if they released like a big collection for like the Switch or something. That would have been nice. But, you know, of course they're going to want to charge you separately for each game. Why would they not do that? You know. So yeah, I can understand why some people were a little miffed about this, because, you know, like I said, it looks really bad on paper, but thinking about it for a few minutes, I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad. You know, it's not like I was going to buy them anyway, but, you know, I'm glad the option's there for people who wanted this. But that's my thought on it. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you next time.